What what the business is, YouTube? Hey, happy new year to everybody out there in the YouTube world. It's your boy Clarence over here at Pursuit of Freedom. Pursuit of Freedom, baby. Hey, hey, hey. I'm in Kansas or am I in Missouri? It's crazy. I got to think about it. Um, but I'm up here in Kansas. It's cold. I'm watching the snow melt as I speak. But I got to bring to you a video today. It's forward and backwards, some disappointment and disappointment, truthfully, only in myself. And man, I hate this here. Uh, God, dog. I hate to look back sometimes. In hindsight is always 2020 to see what else went on with the start and seeing that I made the absolute perfect wrong darn decisions. Right. Uh, I will get to my pet trade last though. I got a gang of trades to toss in here. And try to be quick about it. See if I can get them all pulled up right quick. Got a bunch of losses and a few gains. I'm pretty much since damn near in November, really standing still, man. I've been standing still since November. Get all the way back to today. See that today's pet trade was a 19% loss, and it's really oh. All right, let's go to the first one real quick. So taxi, ATXI trade on the 18th turned out to be a 9.5% loss, and I'm putting this video in today, especially after today's loss. It's crazy too, because the last video I made, I was talking about losses. I was talking about breaking rules. I was talking about bad habits, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you pick up on or that you begin to do. I talked about a number of different things that traders do at times that can kind of that can be detrimental. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just go ahead and jump to this here stop on the 18th. And I think, you know what I mean, thinking about it now. Okay, I don't know. I can't get it to come up. This stock here want to start to push back today. But the 18th was over here Friday the 18th. I may have to look at shorter, a longer time frame to go that far back in time. 2 minute chart ain't gonna work. 5, okay, there it is. So I ended up getting in the trade as it's spiking up, and man, like I'm doing this trade, I'm doing this video today, truthfully, because I've done this 3 times in a row. So right now I'm suffering from greed. In all honesty, I am suffering from greed with these trades. I do admit to wanting bigger wins. You know what I'm saying? So I was closing the year, well, yeah, especially going into the close of the year, going into the end of the year. You know, I'm feeling like, you know, of course, you want to finish the year big. You want to finish the year solid. You want to gain as much as you can so that this could be the best trading year. You know what I mean? It's still my best trading year, regardless of what the numbers would have been. But I emotionally got kind of locked into stocks that time when I had created the habit of just locking in the game, something quick and small. You know what I'm saying? So I got away from that. And I had just recovered from a big loss. You know what I'm saying? But thinking about the end of the year, I've traded it better this year than any year. I'm still under the PDT. So the journey for me, truthfully, hasn't begun yet. It has, but it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause this is a different psychology. Trading with restricted, uh, with a restriction, being that I can only make 3 trades in a week. I guarantee the average day trader makes about 3 to 5 trades a day. So like that's a completely different mentation going into a trade. But anyway, so I get into this a trade, and I wish that I could. No, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I kind of want a shorter time frame than that. Okay, so I can get to a slightly shorter. We're looking at a 3 minute chart, and I'm having some power issues right now. Uh, but okay, still recording. But I get into the stock at 695. After I got in, though, I got in as it was running up. It's breaking out uh above this little high is set back at 652. I got a black line put in. Usually I put a black line in on the chart because I always have a red line in somewhere where I ended up selling. So I use a black line to set my stop. So I set my stop at the breakout level. The breakout level was 652 when this thing started to crunch up from 652 all the way up to 726. I seen the stop touch at 726 after I had got in at 695. So I watched this thing from 695 to 726. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why I'm doing a video today on because I mean that's just I'm getting greedy. I'm in at 695, out at 628. So I ended up taking a loss of 70 cents damn near, and I had a gain in the stock. I can't tell you how bad that hurt. I think that's the worst pain that I experienced, being that I'm in at 695. At 726, that's 30 cents with uh 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 with 1,200 shares. So that's better than $300. That's better than I'm gonna make driving a truck all day. So I mean that's a day's work. That's a worthy trade. If it was $50, it could have been a worthy trade. You know what I'm saying? But I failed to get out in time. You see, and then this is the 1 minute chart here. So like I'm shooting myself in the foot, man, because I'm in on the candle where it spiked all the way up to 726. And then I had 1, 2, 3. Now y'all want to send me a message. But so I had like 3 minutes. 3 different minutes before, and look at the size of the selling candle too. Like that's telling me that like I mean the short sellers got. I need you to shut up over here. Uh uh yeah, so I ended up getting, I mean, look at the size of the sell candle compared to everything else it was doing in the screenshot. That right there is a theme too that I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing wrong with, you know what I mean, this here. The problem that I see is that I had 3, 4 minutes to get out. Even if I would have been trying to get out at the beginning of that sale candle, then, you know what I mean, I could have locked in the game. But I did not get out. I wasn't looking to get out in a few minutes. I'm looking for like a 6, 7, $800 gain and end up with an $800 loss. You know what I'm saying? Then the stock pulls back, right? The stock actually came all the way back in that big sell candle right to my stop. And then it started to go sideways. I see that the breakout level held. It went beneath it, but it came back up and it got above it a tad bit. It cracked beneath it again. It had a candle closed beneath it, and I did not get out. What I did from that point is I moved my stop down to the VWAP, which is this yellow line. And, you know what I'm saying? Basically, I just made my loss worse because I ended up having to get out. I didn't take advantage of this chance to get out up here at 667. When it came and kind of bounced off the VWAP, I was thinking we was going to get a stronger bounce off the VWAP than that. That's not the case. It got up to 667. So at that point, I would have just been trying to limit the damage. That's not what happened. The stock pulled back. It went beneath the VWAP. And that's pretty much where I got out. I'm out at 628, right as the stock crossed beneath the VWAP. My next trade in this thing was EYEG, about the same amount lost, 8.5% loss, and I'm looking at the. I'm gonna put the percentage in for each and every one of them. I know that I can come back, being that I just came back from a big loss, and that makes it frustrating too. On the 21st, EYEG. Okay, so I had the 21st. I got to come this way. So, all right. So at EYEG, this was another, and oh yeah, and that last trade, I overstayed my welcome. This is another case where I did the exact same thing. I didn't honor my stop, breaking rule, broken rule. I didn't I didn't try to get out early. Okay, let's just start from the beginning though. Let's start from the beginning of this here thing here. Start from the beginning of this here thing here. Uh, the stock was a gap up on that day, and you see that it gapped up. This is the 21st here. Of course, the candle with the most action in it. Of course, the day with the most volume in it. That's gonna be the day that I'm looking to get involved with any trade that I get into. But the stock was a massive gap up. I don't even remember looking or reading any news at all. But the first minute of the day. What's that? Okay, so I can possibly, maybe not. Thought I could slide back a little more. I'm trying to go to a shorter time frame. That's just that 2 minute chart just don't quite work. All right, so I have to look at a 3 minute chart. Uh, the stock spiked in the first 3 minutes out the gate. It touched a high of 818, 814. And from there it pulled back. So I'm trying to get in on a dip, trying to catch a quick dip by. It bounced. The lower day at the time when I got in was $7.02. So that is where I I set my stop for the day. I get into the stock at 738. The stock spikes up to 785. I mean, I had 50 cents gained per share. And once again, I had 1,200 shares. I don't know. I went with that number. That's the price range. And I did not lock in the gain again. I'm wanting like $1,000 gain. You know what I'm saying? So I hung out in this here trade far longer than I needed to. And the stock, after it set that high, it got beneath the VWAP, which is always the first warning sign to me. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't take heed to that warning, and it came down and went through my stop. After it went through my stop, at least I got out that very next candle, but my loss was a tad bit worse. I ended up getting out like 10, 20 cents away from my stop. Because when it started selling, it was pushing down, and I found myself chasing the price action down, trying to get out. So this loss, to try to keep this loss from getting any worse. So this one was a gap, and this thing got beneath the volume weighted average price, which is, a good sell indicator, and it never returned to the sell. It never returned to that spot, right? So that's that trade for a massive loss. That one was 659 loss on that one, right? From 738 down to 683. The next one was a JG trade. Now I'm noticing that I picked up that, okay, if I'd have got short in the stock in my last two trades, then I would have had a gain. You know what I'm saying? So this one turned out to be a $700 gain. I ended up getting back one of those losses. This was a short sale. I ended up getting short in JG on the 22nd. I scroll back. I can obviously see that this has to be the 22nd because that's when I want to get involved. Look at the size of this here buying candle, 200 and something million. That's the only time I want to mess with a stock. Once again, you know what I'm saying? When it's doing big things, right? So on the 22nd, I probably can go with a 2 minute chart on this one. See if I can. Yeah. On the 22nd, and this one I actually held for the majority of the day. I mean, because I seen. Let's look at the daily chart for a second. I'm gonna point out what I noticed about the daily chart. Anytime that this thing has pushed up any, whether it was a gap or the stock really just pushed up on this day, back on the 24th, a gapped higher, sold off that day, and then the next day it sold off. Gapped up again, spiked, sold off for 1, 2, 3, 4 days before going sideways. Gap, sell off. Gap, sell off. I could have held it even longer, but I mean, I don't. Sometimes I took that risk once before, and I feel like I didn't want to do it again. But the stock had gapped up. I'm able to see the market open, and it sails off for minutes, and then it just hits the brakes and sits there. So, or not hits the brakes and sits there, but it's selling off, and then it goes sideways just a touch. I get short. It comes down. It's beneath the VWAP, like 5 minutes into the day, and the stock is just going sideways. You know what I'm saying? Not really having any trouble, and it's a stop. You know what I'm talking about? I stopped about 3 in the afternoon. It was a little before 3 because when I first stopped, I seen it down at like 449. The stock started to spike. That made me a little nervous. I didn't want to give back any profits, so it had not spiked up. I got a big selling candle, and on that selling candle, I ended up getting out in that next one to buy the cover. And now when I sold from 542, no, wait a minute, 542 down to 465. I covered my position right at 465 for a $700 gain, 16% gain in that position. It was only a $4,000 position, so $700, $780 was a decent gain for that position. Then I got into BTBT on, man, I don't got the date here. The 29th, okay? And I quickly found out that I got into this trade on the wrong side of the trade. The 29th, I got into this thing late afternoon fade. I was thinking, okay, this thing is going to fade into the close. It's about 315 somewhere in here. Okay, 310 when I get short and it says stop. So in BTBT, I see that it plunged back beneath the volume weighted average price. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I figured, okay, I'm into a short position. It was up. Look at that, the daily chart. Something wrong with my daily. Man, this thing is going nuts since I've sold. You see, I'm in the stock down this thing at $10. I could have just bought and held it for a few days. But I see the stock had done pushed up. You know what I'm saying? A good, strong position. No, this had to be this. Okay, yeah. So it pushed up. Something like 80%. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's one of the top stocks on the day. Had a nice push up. I don't know. This is off though, because they ain't even got it up here. They ain't even got price action. They don't have a spike going up to 1249. They got it for the 28th. Like I'm a day off or something. I might be a day off. I might get the screenshot on the wrong day. Yeah, because this looking like the 28th here. Okay, so this trade was actually on the 28th. Yeah. So this trade was on the 28th, not the 29th, and that's why I'm getting thrown off. But it had pushed up a super strong percentage. It pulled back like 20%. You know what I'm saying? So I'm figuring that this afternoon I can get short. I get short in the stock. I go back and I read some news and I see that this stock is related to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going nuts. So I immediately did not want to be in this stock, and I took a gain of only like 4 cents a share. Uh, uh, I didn't want to take any chances, but I'm in, I'm in and out at like the same spot. So it's only a $19 gain there. And I did that screenshot a little terrible because you can't even see. I don't even didn't even have the price in there. Then I had a to next trade. Beautiful trade to me. Good game. Uh, and I think that was my last trade of 2020. Yeah, this was the 29th. Okay. So then I get into Tenex, TENX, for a beautiful trade. The stock gapped up. It was up like 100% that day. At the time when I was looking to get in, uh, I'm in right where I got this bad boy circled. I can't even see my numbers over here because they're in the green. But it spiked up, it pulled back. I wait for a candle to give me a good push above. I mean, a bullish engulfing candle, basically a trend reversal candle, showing me that the trend is finna go higher. I buy in. I probably can look at 1 minute candles on that one. Can I look at 1 minute candles? Nope. I look at 2 minute candles. So in this case, the stock had spiked up, pulled back, like I had mentioned, gave me a nice punching strong candle above the previous candle. That's what I'm trying to get in. See, it had spiked up above the previous candle, pulled back. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up getting up as it tried to spike again. But this candle right here is showing me that, buying has come back into the stop and we might be moving higher. I didn't overstay my welcome in this case. Rolled this thing just for, a meager little piece of change from 232 to 269, 37 cents, 36 cents, and got out with a decent gain and that trade. And I didn't drop that one down so you can see the pennies. But I had a decent number of shares and that made that game pretty easy. I didn't have to be in this stock too long and got out with a gain. So and that show you the time frame right there. This thing had came down in my screenshot of that actual day. Oh, no, 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 no. It bounced off the VWAP strongly. Pushed up, got above just a few of these selling candles. I just look for a candle to close higher than the previous selling action. Get in. I rolled it up to the top. It double topped at like 270 something. I get out at 269 right as the selling began because I'm taking a screenshot after I had already got out the trade. And then my first trade of the year in damn Peck, man. And my screenshot came in. This one here, I just really just sat in this trade too long. I seen the news, and sometimes I don't read the news because I begin to buy into the news a tad bit. I begin to believe the hype. They were acquired by some company. You know what I'm saying? Peck is a solar technology. They were acquired by somebody. That was the news. And Peck should still be up here. Peck still is the number 5 stock on the day. But I just traded this one terribly wrong. I traded this one like I did the previous couple losses that I did. You know what I'm saying? I'm eyeballing for me this higher day up here at like 1450. You know what I'm saying? The pre-market high up here near 1450. And that's what I'm looking to take a profit at right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the trade at 1262. The stock had, punched up a little bit in the open, set of open day high like 1368, and then just sold off, got beneath the VWAP. As it's coming up and it got above the VWAP, I'm thinking that, okay, this thing is going to solidly push and possibly retest either the pre-market high of 14 something or at least 1372, the highest set the first couple minutes of the day. It pushed up to 1350, so I had a gain once again of a couple $100 in this stock, and I did not take a profit, man. I'm being greedy. Because after I got in, this thing punched up higher. And then from there, it was downhill with the stock. This damn sell candle right here, This sell candle was massive, man. Uh, yeah. On the 1 minute chart, this thing here was one of the biggest candles of the day, and it just the stock all of a sudden just dropped. It was playing with 13, pushed down to beneath 13, and then this thing just dropped all the way to 1153. You know what I'm saying? In 1 minute, the selling pressure didn't look to be that heavy in that minute to me, but $3 million, the float, at least it's TC 2000, say 3.2 million, so it's a real low float, and then it just went sideways for too long. Really, I was thinking it's gonna be a 5 minute hold, volatility hold, and then after that, it dropped again, coming out of the hold, had a little spike, and then it just dropped again. You know what I'm talking about? Went sideways for a while. I'm trying to see if it's gonna punch even back up near the volume weighted average price. Giving it time because I didn't have a stop set either. That was one of the first problems I had. I got into the stock, I didn't set a stop. Usually, if I don't, I use the VWAP, my short term moving averages, or the lower day down here at $11 or something. That's real far away, but that's where I ended up getting out anyway because this thing sold off, got halted, came out the hold selling, and from here I'm hoping. I know anytime I'm beginning to hope, it's time for me to just get out the stock. Stop going sideways again. Had a big selling candle. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and have to close my eyes and eat a loss in this case. I get out the stock in this candle right here because this thing just punched down super strong. And I'm thinking, man, it's going to be at $8 soon. The loss got massive in a matter of looking in that box. I had about 40 minutes to get out, 39 minutes to get out of this stop before the loss got as big as it did, but it got massive quickly. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't much that I could do. But that is what that is. And I end up starting this year out with one of the biggest losses that I think I've taken. This is the second biggest loss I've taken in the 3-4 years I've been trading right here. And that's how I start 2021. With some frustration. Now, immediately, I wanted to get back in, man, because that's just how I was feeling. It was a couple stops. I think this Sin stop, you know what I'm saying, was on a climb, and I was like, man, I possibly could grab me about 10,000 shares of this, and in 15 cents, I would have had $1,500. I didn't do it, though. Yeah. So I was like, 'cause it did that a couple times, man. This thing dipped down to about the VWAP. It spiked up again. Man, I mean, it's shoulda, coulda, woulda always in trading. This thing ended up punching all the way up to the 160th area. So I could have had a pretty good trade in this here stock after I had gotten out because I had another day trade left. I didn't take another trade, though, because I'm thinking in my head, I don't want to make my losses any worse. But these were the two stocks I was looking at for the day. I chose the wrong stock and I overstayed. I mean, it came back though, and oh man, yeah. This is the disappointing part. Real disappointing to look at it now that I've stopped driving for a quick minute and see that the stock pulled down and it bottomed where I got out at. So I bought the top and sold the bottom in this trade. This is exactly what you do not want to do. And I didn't set a stop before getting in or right after getting in, because usually I set a stop before I get in or right after I get in. And it would have probably been a lower day, which would have put me at about 11.54. I still would have had a big loss, but it wouldn't have been as big as it ended up getting with the stock dropping, getting halted, and then coming out of the hold and continuing to sell off. So I'm starting the year off from behind. I just came from behind, so that's nothing to me. I got to change some habits because the market keeps chopping me out of these here trades. The strength hasn't been to the upside. In the pre-market, yeah, you see this thing in the pre-market, that's where all the action was. Zoom in too close. All of the action is in the pre-market. This thing ran 130% in the pre-market. It opened up from there and didn't do anything else, really. Kind of bounced up and down. You could have had some good trades in here, either direction. Having only 3 trades though is a curse for me right now, man, because I could have easily got right back in this thing. Even though I got on the road and started driving afterwards. But if I was sitting in front of the market, I could have sold even for that loss and got about a good 20 something percent gain with a good amount of shares, with the same amount of shares I had, and got a lot of that money back. You know what I'm saying? In the same stock. You know what I'm saying? So the PDT rule is a gift and a curse. Uh, for me, where my confidence level is, I feel like for me right now it's a curse. So at times I be thinking like, damn it, man, I'm just gonna wait till I'm over the PDT rule. I can't help it though. Because to me, one income is a trap, and I ain't trying to live trapped in one income. And the stock market is my second source of income. Uh, but that's it. That is what it is. Because I can get real long winded from this point talking about losses again. Uh, I've been kind of just standing still, going forward, coming backwards, going forward, coming backwards. Uh, this is Pursuit of Freedom 2021. Happy New Year. There will be more to come. I got to make some adjustments. Got to make some adjustments. Got to get back to locking in gains quickly, because this is like the third losing trade I've been in a month, where I was up a couple $100, and that's always a worthy trade for me. This is Pursuit of Freedom.